Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing our logic review for MGF 1106. I'm still on page 64, and I'm going to do problems 8, 9, and 10 in one grouping on one video because they basically share a concept. If I give you a conditional statement and I ask you to form the converse or the inverse or the contrapositive, we can look on our cheat sheet or our memory page and remember this. The conditional is the original statement, P implies Q. If I'm forming the converse, and one of my colleagues calls that a con job, where things are kind of, they switch and bait you, you literally switch. So the converse would be Q implies P. What used to go first goes second and vice versa. To form the inverse, you go back to the conditional, but this time you negate. So you leave the order the same, you just negate P and negate Q. And then the contrapositive basically puts the converse and the inverse together. Not only does it play the bait and switch game, but it also negates. So basically the contrapositive would say not Q implies not P. Okay, so these are important, and these are again on your memory page, your cheat sheet. So let's come over here. If the bird is blue, then the lizard is brown. If I want to form the converse, I play the bait and switch game. So I just change the order. So what I would say there is, if the lizard is brown, right? I start with the back, then the bird is blue. So we played the con game, we reversed it. Now, question number 9 gives us a conditional, and it wants the inverse. Now, to form the inverse, you don't change the order. You still leave it as an if-then statement. You have the arrow in it, but you negate the front and the back. So we would say, if the bird is not blue, comma, then the lizard is not brown. So we did not change the order, we simply negated. Okay? And our very last one, we have if the bird is blue, then the lizard is brown, but we want to form the contrapositive. All right? Come over here where I have a little bit of room. Okay? If I want to form the contrapositive, I do two things. I switch and negate. So I would be starting with if the lizard, okay, let's do this. If the lizard is not brown, right? Because the back part said it was, well, now we're going to change that to the front and negate it. If the lizard is not brown, then what used to be in the front is in the back, and it will be negated. Then the bird is not blue. Ta-da! So basically, when you're forming from a conditional, when you're forming the converse, the inverse of the conditional, or the contrapositive, the converse is always you just switch the order from the conditional. The inverse is you go back to the conditional and you negate the front and the back, but no order switching. And in the contrapositive, you do both. You go to the conditional, you switch the order, and you negate. So those are our patterns to remember when you're forming the converse or the inverse or the contrapositive. And remember that these are all implications, so you do need to use if-then in each of these wordings.